Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to look into top five best men's cricket World Cup campaigns of the Irish team. As mentioned earlier, Ireland has competed in a total of 10 World Cups, of which three are ODIs and the other seven T20 tournaments. All the 10 World Cups were considered for this particular ranking. The Irish have fared way better at ODIs than T20s. Coming in at number five, the 2009 T20 World Cup. This was the first T20 World Cup that Ireland competed in. Ireland finished as joint winners alongside Netherlands in the qualifying tournament, as the final was abandoned due to rain. The 2009 tournament happened to be the first ICC tournament for Paul Stirling, who was by then built to be Ireland's next big thing. The other two teams in the Ireland's group were Bangladesh and India. The Irish team was on a high after their 2007 Caribbean heroics. They carried that form into their T20 venture as well, as they defeated Bangladesh in their debut match. Upon restricting Bangladesh to a score of 137, Ireland turned to their St. Patrick's Day hero Niall O'Brien to score a fluent 40 and get them over the line. Perhaps what was even more satisfying was Niall's brother Kevin O'Brien hitting the winning runs. The win was extremely significant since even though Ireland lost their next match to to India, they still progressed to Super 8 stage. In the Super 8, the Irish were grouped alongside New Zealand, Sri Lanka, and Pakistan. Even though Ireland lost all the three games, their match against Sri Lanka particularly stands out. A score of 78 from Mahela Jayawardene helped Sri Lanka post a score of 144. Alex Cusack was the pick of the bowlers, taking 4 wickets. In response, William Porterfield, Niall O'Brien, and John Mooney all scored 31 runs as Ireland narrowly missed out on another famous upset, losing just by 9 runs. Coming in at number 4 is the 2011 ODI World Cup. Well, this one might surprise a few, as this tournament firmly set Ireland on the path of Test membership. Going into the tournament, Ireland were champions in the qualifiers. Ed Joyce had come back to the Irish side to somewhat balance out the loss of Ian Morgan. There was a lot of optimism around the team. However, Ireland started their campaign on the worst possible foot. The World Cup had a new format consisting of 14 teams split into two groups of 7 teams. Ireland needed to win a minimum of 3 matches in order to qualify for the quarterfinals. Therefore, Ireland had to defeat a team weaker than them, a team similar strength, a team that was stronger than them, that is causing an upset. So the team that was similar to their strength was Bangladesh. Having defeated Bangladesh in 2007 and the 2009 World Cups, Ireland were high on confidence to make it 3-0. Ireland faced Bangladesh in their opening game. Ireland bowlers were up to the task as they bowled out Bangladesh for just 205 runs. All it required was for one Irish batter to keep a calm head and see them over the line. But unfortunately, the batters choked. A breezy spell from Shafiul Islam bundled out the Irish for 178 runs. Their next match against England will go down as one of the greatest upsets in the Cup history. England's imposing total of 327 runs would be difficult for any fellow full member nation to chase down. By the 25th over, Ireland were down by 5 wickets for just 111 runs. Then Kevin O'Brien's record-breaking, uh, knock, which was ably supported by Alex Cusack and John Mooney, shocked not only the opponent but the entire world. Over the next couple of games, the squad came close but failed to upset India and West Indies before losing quite convincingly to South Africa. In their last match against Netherlands, Paul Stirling's century nullified Ryan ten Carter's century to win the game by 6 runs by chasing down 306 runs. The Irish had made a name for themselves in chasing down big totals in this particular tournament. So coming in at number 3, the 2015 ODI World Cup. Ireland were once again the top associates as they entered this particular tournament. Uh, Ireland had a very weak bowling lineup as their premier bowler Tim Murtagh was out due to injury, and Boyd Rankin was still eligible to play for England and not eligible for Ireland. Nonetheless, they began the tournament with a bang, chasing down West Indies' total of 304 runs thanks to some wonderful hitting by Paul Stirling, Ed Joyce, and Niall O'Brien. In the next match, UAE looked to stun the Irish team by reducing them to 97 for 4 in pursuit of 278 runs. But late heroics from Gary Wilson and Kevin O'Brien saved Ireland the blushes. The team's bad form against South Africa in cup competitions continued as the opponents gave them a hiding as they suffered their first loss. In the fourth match, however, Ireland, led by Ed Joyce and Andrew Burney, posted an extremely competitive total of 331 runs against Zimbabwe. In response, Brendan Taylor and Sean Williams brought the Chevrons to the cusp of victory, only to lose the match by 5 runs due to a late collapse. Ireland's charge in the tournament, however, ended there as they lost the last two matches to India and Pakistan, crashed out of the tournament on net run rate. Although, had Pakistan defeated West Indies, then Ireland would have been the first associates after Kenya to reach the knockout stages of the World Cup. Coming in at number 2, the 2022 T20 World Cup. Over the years, Ireland had become a full member nation. However, their performance on field had become worse than many other associates nations. As Ireland's golden generation began to retire one by one, the selectors turned to the youth who could serve their nation for the next 10 years at least. As the young players were struggling to find their feet at the international stage, Ireland slid in ranking and in their performance, which culminated in a disappointing 2021 T20 World Cup campaign. Things were not looking promising as they lost to UAE twice in the qualifiers. When the team lost to Zimbabwe in their opening game, thanks to an all round performance by Sikandar Raza, their chances of qualifying for the next round of the competition were all but done. In their do or die match against Scotland, the opponent batted first and posted a competitive total of 176 runs. In response, Ireland was struggling at 65 for 4 by the end of 10 overs. Win predictors showed that Ireland had just 9% chance to win. Since then, Curtis Camphor, ably supported by George Dockrell, slogged the ball to different parts of the ground to win the match with 1 over remaining. In the last game of the first stage against the mighty West Indies, Gareth Delaney would spin a web around the opposition batters, restricting them to 146. Afterwards, Paul Stirling and Lorcan Tucker would come together to string together an unbeaten partnership and chase down the target by 9 wickets. Ireland would qualify to the second round of the T20 World Cup for the first time in 13 years. Ireland's journey in the second stage began with an easy defeat against Sri Lanka, but it was their second match that would go down as one of Ireland's finest T20 performances in an ICC tournament. Batting first, Irish top order piled pressure on English bowlers. However, a late collapse saw them finish with 157 runs. In the second innings, Irish bowlers led by Josh Little prevented the English batters from getting into any sort of rhythm. However, just when it looked like Moeen Ali was starting to get going, the rain came pouring down. The match could not be restarted as per DLS, Ireland won the match by 5 runs. The defeated English team then went on to win the World Cup, making this victory even more special. The good fortunes for Ireland, however, ended there as their match against Afghanistan was washed off and they lost their last two matches against Australia and New Zealand. Veteran Niall O'Brien later commented that this was Ireland's best ever World Cup campaign. However, had Ireland defeated either of Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka, two teams of comparable strength to Ireland, I would have completely agreed with him. But after many attempts, Ireland did break through their run of misfortunes in the T20 World Cups. And finally, coming in at number 1, the 2007 ODI World Cup. To understand why this was Ireland's best World Cup campaign needs a bit of context. For the first time, Ireland had qualified for a Cricket World Cup. They did so by becoming the runners-up of the 2005 ICC tournament. Their leading run scorer in that tournament, Ed Joyce, was now playing for the English team. Only three members of the Irish squad uh, in the World Cup had county contracts. They were Eoin Morgan, Niall O'Brien, and Boyd Rankin, while Andrew White was playing T20 matches for Northamptonshire. So, largely, most of the players were semi professionals, club cricketers who had a day job. They had very little experience of playing against full member nations. Ireland were put into the same group as three full member nations, namely Zimbabwe, Pakistan, and the host West Indies. In their first match against Zimbabwe, Irish opener Jeremy Bray decided to be the surprise package for his team. Not only did he score a century, he actually carried his bat and remained unbeaten. In response, Zimbabwe nearly chased down the target of 222 thanks to a patient innings from Stuart Machikineri. The scores were tied in the penultimate ball. Unfortunately for Zimbabwe, Machikineri could not put bat to ball in the final Andrew White delivery, and the match ended in a tie. The biggest surprise of the tournament, however, came in the next Irish match against the subcontinental giant Pakistan. The game that has been dubbed as the St. Patrick's Day Miracle. On a sunny day at Sabina Park, an semi-professional Irish side bowled out the 1992 World Cup Pakistan champions Pakistan for a meager 132 runs. In response, Pakistani bowlers came in hard against the Irish batsmen, but Niall O'Brien stood tall and led Ireland to the cusp of victory. The moment captain Trent Johnston hit Azhar Mahmood's ball for six over the long on to win the match, history was created. This moment changed the course of Irish cricket forever. Irish Ireland had knocked out Pakistan to reach the Super 8 stage. They did, however, went on to lose the last group stage match against West Indies and most of the Super 8 stage matches. The only match they won in the Super 8 stage came against Bangladesh. Before the match happened, Bangladesh had already caused two upsets by defeating India and South Africa. Thus, going into the match, they were the overwhelming favorites to win. Batting first, Ireland posted a score of 243. Opener William Porterfield top scored with 85 runs. To everyone's surprise, Bangladeshi batting lineup collapsed, getting skittled out for just 169 runs. The 2007 tournament inspired a new generation of Irish cricketers. It helped raise the profile of Irish cricket in the global cricketing community. The Irish board's ambition to achieve full member status gained traction thanks to this particular tournament. And it was achieved by a group of cricketers who were playing in the first ever World Cup. Thus, hands down, it was, in my opinion, Ireland's best tournament ever. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care. Bye bye.